Everybody. My name is Michael Cairns. Welcome to our session on artificial intelligence and machine learning. We're going to get started, but hopefully other additional people will filter in as we go here. Firstly, I'm going to introduce myself and what I do, and then hand it over to the panel that we have assembled for you. I am a consultant in the industry. Some of you might have seen me present here before in years past. I'm also an operating executive and work with a couple companies in the publishing space. I provide digital transformation services to companies, helping them migrate their legacy businesses, help them with product development, market development, things of that sort, typically with the scholarly and academic educational type publishers and also with membership organizations. Helping improve business operations and process redesign, project planning, and also get involved in mergers and acquisitions and corporate development. And my contact information is there as well. So some of the clients I've worked with, some examples of some of the work that I've done here in very brief summary. I'm not going to go through these so you can relax. But AARP was looking for market development to expand their services globally, and I helped develop a business program and plan for that. Helped a membership organization migrate from a print-based distribution of their educational and accreditation materials to the web. I was also at Wolters Kluwer for a period of time, helping them with digital transformation of some of their nursing and medical publications, textbooks. Just my branding page to show you some of the names of companies that I've worked with. Hopefully I can add to that, and if you're interested in talking to me after the conference, please come and talk to me. I'd be very interested in hearing about some of the things you're working on and whether or not I can help you with that. This also is an example of some of the work I did earlier this year on my own behalf, actually, and produced a software market report that talks about and details some of the technology providers in the industry. If you'd like a copy of this page suitable for framing, if you're into that, please give me your email. I'm happy to send you a PDF of it. And if you're interested in the report, you can go to my website. I have a link to it there as well. So I also write about the industry. Some of you might have seen my blog, which is called Persona Non Data. Recently, I wrote a blog post about machine learning and artificial intelligence, and it was actually got a lot of traffic, and it wasn't just because of the cool picture. There's about 15 companies that I linked to and gave short summaries of and their work in the industry, so you might find that of interest to you, and I've included the companies that are on the panel here today, so you can go check that out if you're interested. This was the description of this session. And here the concept was to profile some of the activity that is going on in publishing at the moment. And with that remit, which is accepted by SSP about 6 or 7 months ago, I then went out and sourced some experts that we see here on the panel to talk about some of the opportunities and some of the things that they've been working on and some of the business cases that they've executed within their publisher relationships. So we'll hear a little bit about that today. When I did put this together, as I said, about 6 or 7 months ago for SSP, I thought I wouldn't have too much difficulty finding people for the panel, but I was at one point only down to 3. But luckily we have a good panel here, 5 people, which will put us under a little bit of time pressure, but hopefully we'll get through it all, and we'll also have some time for questions at the end. So this will be the batting order. Jigesh will come up first. And while we're getting settled there, and he's going to join us, I thought I'd just put some definitions here if you're interested in thinking about what artificial intelligence is. It probably means a lot of things to different people, but I'll hand it over to Jigesh. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, and good morning. That's better. So, one of the most recurring question I am asked time and again is, where is the ROI on AI and ML? And when I was talking with Michael, I thought it would be nice to put a couple of actual case studies with actual work that we have done with publishers on how they are generating return on the investment that they have made in ML and AI. So the talk today is about a couple of slide introduction on molecular connections, and then actual deep dive into actual case studies of what work we've done with publishers and how they have generated money out of it. So it's quite simple. Who we are, we work with various publishers. I am Jignesh Bhate, as Michael said. I'm the founder and CEO for Molecular Connections. It's a 15-year-old company, about 2,000 people. We call them subject matter experts. We started actually as a text mining company. At that time, when text mining was not that famous, 15 years back, it was not called machine learning, by the way. It was called plain text mining. That time, it has now evolved into machine learning and now AI. Those days, it was plain and simple text mining. So we started with that. We worked with various publishers in that area. And this is a quick slide on what we have done so far. We have done about 100 plus workflows, hybrid workflows incorporating machine learning, AI, and human cognition. We have over 2,000 SMEs. We build and maintain ontologies around 30 plus Thesauri ontologies, and these are quite critical as part of any machine learning approach. And we have a kind of winning combination of human scale, human cognition, and technology. So we are based out of Bangalore. We call it the Silicon Valley of Asia. This is our quick offerings. We do co-innovation. So we actually partner with publishers to develop new products, and we would share the IP and share the risk with the publisher in that new products. We do a lot of workflow development, semantic fingerprinting, author and institution disambiguation, create and maintain knowledge graphs, do a lot of abstraction and indexing through hybrid approach, ontology development, and rapid prototyping. So this is our offerings. That's a lot about molecular connections already. If you want to know more about it, please just come up to me later. I would directly get into the case studies of how our publishers have made money on using ML and AI. This is first case study of a secondary publisher, an ANI publisher, which is IFIS, which works on food sciences content. So for the last 50 years, they have abstracted and indexed most of the food sciences material out there, and they sell it through third parties like Ovid, Thomson, or EBSCO or ProQuest. It's as I said, 50-year-old company, 16 plus staff, based out of UK. For 50 years, they had only one product, which was this food science database. Right? We took the database and then added more content from the web to it through machine learning and AI, and then created a new product called XCollects. This new product now goes to the corporate market. They were largely in the academic market. This product caters to the corporate market. They already have customers like Danone and Nestle and Unilever. So did some extensive market research. They had a body of content, how we can repurpose, remodel, add new content from the web, and then create a new product or a new offering out of it. That was the objective. So when we did the market research, it's typical. We found these answers with these questions. I can't find what I'm looking for. I can't find what I need fast enough. I need credible information. I need a one-stop shop. I need full text links. I prefer to be presented with information visually. And imagine this was with an ANI publisher, one product for the last 50 years, no change in their team at all, and just producing that, and it was selling well, but naturally there were strong headwinds on growth. So we came up with this idea of creating taking their existing content, adding some more content through machine learning AI, re-indexing it, creating a new ontology, and then creating a UI UX to deliver a new product. And let me walk you through that. So this was the workflow that we came up with. So they had this legacy curated content. We added the web content through machine learning and AI and created a big data platform, which was a linked data store. And then through the linked data store, created a new product called XCollects. So that was the workflow we adopted. The first bubble there, legacy curated content, was the publisher's role, and all the rest of it was what Molecular Connections came up with. So the content was quite good. It was, but different file formats, millions plus abstracts, 10 million plus metadata, and 50 years of legacy. And we had our big data platforms. These were typically these ones. So a parsing mechanism by which you can parse content very easily. A miner, which is typically a text mining engine for any domain. This was on food science, but we have it for social science, we have it for humanities, we have it for life sciences, we have it for chemistry, and you name it. Identify is our platform on author and institution disambiguation, so you can disambiguate authors and institutions very quickly. Lexicon is our proprietary ontology thesaurus building platform where you can use this platform to quickly create an ontology which is focused on your content, and Analyze is a visualization tool to visualize the content. Using all of this, we created a linked data store and then created the product XCollects, and I'll show you a quick demo, a 1-minute demo for that. But the benefit of the linked data store is very high. So we can create, once we have unsiloed the content, for want of a better word, we can then create multiple new products because they had this fantastic content which we kind of broke it down through our MC Miner engine. We can do content slicing, so just food regulation, we can create a product. Just in food sciences, only on cheese, Unilever wanted something, we can create a product only for cheese, and so forth. Granular analytics, because it was, again, very, we had a thesaurus and we had content which was granular. Good visualization and better discoverability. So XCollects is one product, and our vision is with the publisher that by 2020, we'll have 5 new products coming out. So imagine for 50 years, one product, in the next 5 years, 5 new product into the market. And this was through our big data platform. And let me quickly show you a demo. Generally, demos never work, but let me try. Okay, wonderful. So this is XCollects. Food regulation content from the net for over 50 countries, added food sciences content. So anybody wants to know anything on food sciences, labeling of food, export of food, definition of jam in Canada, what additives you can add, how you can add it, all that is right here. So any corporate working in food now wants to buy this. A completely new channel of revenue. Already have customers, we already have our ROI paid in. Right? And this was all done in 18 months. Because of the time constraint, but I mean, as you can see, labeling, claims, the whole jig bang. And of course, link to the full text wherever possible. We already have 90 demos done in the last 4 months with corporates, 90, and we already have about 7 corporate customers buying on a regular subscription basis. This was launched in January. So this is about XCollects. Let me deep dive into another case study, which is more nearer home with a New York publisher called AIP. This is in terms of creating a very beautiful content classification system, semantically enriching that back file of about 1 million records, and then having what kind of business cases or use cases you can make from there. But I have actually a more better person to talk about it. Please welcome to the dais Melissa Betterson. She is the Director of Editorial Operations for AIP Publishing, has been our partner on the other side, and I thought it would be nice to hear it from the horse's mouth, how and what she has done. So here you go.
Thank you for allowing me to crash your panel. So I'm in editorial. I'm a scientist by nature, so I'm going to approach this in that way. Just talk a little bit about how we've partnered with Molecular Connections and how we feel that we're a smart publisher moving into machine learning and AI and using it in a way that can enrich our content and improve discoverability. So AIP Publishing is a physics publisher. We have quite a bit of physics content on our platform in multiple formats. And as such, it's really, really important that we classify that information, but not just classify it and organize it, but make it more discoverable. And so research in publishing is really dynamic. It's very multidisciplinary, and it's growing exponentially. There are thousands upon thousands of articles published every year. And so with the evolution of technology and search and indexing, we realized that we just didn't need a way to organize knowledge. We needed to create a gateway for discovery. I was recently at a taxonomy boot camp, and Netflix was talking about their challenges in cataloging all of their information, and I realized that there were a lot of parallels between the challenges that publishers have and the challenges that Netflix has. You have all this content and all this information. How do you serve it up appropriately to your readers and your users so it benefits them the most? So when we partnered with Molecular Connections, we wanted to make sure that when we built the ontology, it really mimicked and was a manifestation of our content. Since we have so many different topical areas across the physical sciences, we couldn't just use something that was existing. We needed to build something from the ground up. In addition, we have so many different stakeholders, authors being our primary stakeholders. They have a vested interest in their research and how it's classified. And so how do we provide them an opportunity to have a feedback loop? How do we get their input back into the learning system so that we can improve the ontology and the mechanism by which the articles are indexed? In addition, we had to take into consideration the fact that we have been publishing since 1930, and the nomenclature and the language used to describe physics has changed considerably since then. So how do we make sure that when we build this ontology, it referenced back in the literature and then also had the foresight to think about, well, what are the new emerging areas? What are the areas we're going to move into scientifically? And that needed to be built into the system. And more than anything, we wanted the ontology to evolve. It's not a one and done. We needed to make sure that we were proactive in understanding what the gaps were and consistently looking at topical domains that could be enriched so that this could be useful in the future for us as a publisher. And so this is the slide that I told Jignesh makes me very scared because I have no idea what model optimization and heuristics mean. But I do know the content, and that's sort of where I came into this process. Jignesh and his team said, right, you want us to form this ontology that's specific to your content. Give us 150,000 articles that are representative of what you publish, article types, topical areas. And then my team will manually curate this. And I want to make a point to say that humans are very necessary in this process. I know this is a machine learning and artificial intelligence seminar, but there is a component of human interaction and intervention to make sure that this is fit for purpose for whatever you might need it for your particular business. And so what the lexicon spit out was 1.5 million articles, terms that we can't reasonably use, that was then distilled down to about 35,000, of which 10,000 were unique terms and 25,000 were terms that were synonymous to those unique indexing fingerprints. And so all of this is hosted on a cloud, and it's proprietary to AIP. This all interacts with Molecular Connection through APIs, and more importantly, this polyhierarchy support is something that we wanted to make sure was included when we built this, because as a scientist, spectroscopy and chemical physics could be very different from spectroscopy and biophysics, and understanding that while those are unique terms, contextually they might mean something different if they're pointing back to one of those topics. And so that was really important for us to make note of. And we did all of this in less than 6 months. I implore you that if you have more time to develop a taxonomy or an ontology, please take that time, because 6 months was very accelerated, but I think that the business benefits were well worth it. And this is what we're currently either doing or looking to do with our taxonomy. Of course, now we have real-time indexing. More than anything, this is additional data. Originally, we had only been indexing content that was published, understanding what the trends are now with our submitted articles and seeing whether or not we can use this to develop editorial strategies was a very interesting point for us. Finding reviewers, expanding our reviewer database, it's a huge pain point in our editorial development side. Peer review is very difficult, so how do we create a topical fingerprint between authors, editors, and reviewers so that we can match and align content to those who are experts in evaluating them? And of course, we can bundle content not only for sales and marketing, but more specifically to contextually advertise. So we can use these terms now to have advertisers say, right, these are the terms I want, and then they would be preferentially served up to those who would find the most relevancy out of it. And so I'd be happy to talk to anyone who wants to hear more about what we're doing. It's early days still, but we're really excited on what the business opportunities are with this ontology. So thank you for your time.